Music for me. Thanks. Yeah, excellent. That's perfect. Let's take a deep breath in. Let's exhale. Let's do that a couple more times. Inhale and exhale. Just let the breath flow as you wiggle around through your feet, in the nose, out the mouth. Sometimes a pursed lip breath, a sigh, a sound. Eyes might be soft and lowered or closed, your choice. My palm of my hands are wanting to turn to face forward just to open the front of the chest, widen the front body. Sometimes when our palms are facing the body or behind you, it does narrow the front body. So just take a moment just to play. You might even roll out and in. Just feel the body, lift up the toes, spread them if you want. I've been finding that transverse arch to help connect and lift the inner arches. Planting one foot on the ground that is going to be your stability. Really checking in as you feel all of the toes starting to root in the floor on that foot, and then the inside of the heel and the outer heel. And as you push the floor away, really want you to think about today. I was playing a little bit in my practice over the last week of noticing the pubic bone and then the lower transverse abdominis. And we have this center line, right? There's a ligament from the pubic bone all the way up to the xiphoid process, and it's called your linea alba, right? It's pretty much the separation of right and left. And your transverse abdominis, which originates in the back body, and the fibers are going horizontal and they wrap around and they tuck into this ligament. And then the lower fibers of the transverse abdominis, they lift up. And I was really noticing on one side, so I tend to have hip pain on my left side, and some of us, we talk about, right, there's one side that's a little bit lazy or we need to work a little bit harder. And I was noticing when I was lifting up energy a little bit more on this left side, I could feel it connect the laziness on this side. And I noticed my rib. Yeah, laziness. Yeah. And so it's like all over. So I want you to just explore a little bit today, noticing that this is your center line. Okay, feel the lower belly lift up. So that's the area below the belly button. Feel it lift up on both sides. So there's an up and there's an in. And then I want you to feel your transverse abdominis connecting to the center line as you push down, gather in, lift up. And you're going to feel your sit bones, right? Reaching down, but also keep them wide as you reach up through the head. And there's going to be a rebound, which we focus on that root to rise, where eventually that other leg comes up. But wait for a moment. Wait for it to happen. You can play a little bit going into your proprioception. Just want to focus on our balance today as the sunshine is coming out here on the island. So we're more, it's pulling us to move a little bit more. So I just want to make sure that we are grounded in our body. And as you feel that foot, that's going to start the foot rolling from toes to heel. You keep thinking of this center line. How can you stay connected today and create stability? So in Sanskrit, this is called sturya. And then also noticing that you don't put too much effort in. So it's an effort, but it's only about maximum 70%. So you can still feel what we call a quality of ease and comfort. And in Sanskrit, that's called sukham. So we have stability, sturya, ease and comfort, sukham. So we feel happy and joy, but we also feel strong, right? And so playing with this awareness of how can we create this balance within us. So it's a little discovery of coming inward as you roll on that one foot, exploring from toes to heel, toes to heel. You might find certain spots on the foot that you can just press down. You might pause, you might do a little pin and spin. Check in with your breath. How can you link the breath to the exploration right now? Anytime you feel yourself kind of collapsing and folding forward through the front body, can you lift up? Can you feel that you have a balance between the openness and space in the front and the back, left and the right? It's also good to open the window. Ah, good. And you'll sense when you're ready to pause on one foot. Some of you have already shifted, right? We don't have to stay on one foot the whole time, but you explore. You take a moment to feel. We're going to go right into the other foot. We'll do our side stretching after. So you take your time to switch and then really feel that pressing away of the floor and feel how that creates a chain reaction of activation, not only through the feet, but the ankles, the shins, okay, the calves, up through your thighs, into the area of the inner pelvis. And how that stability from the ground really supports the torso, your head. And then as you stand and balance on the other foot, what part of your foot is maybe not connecting as much? Good. And you roll through the entire foot. The key to have to share this story. So my daughter, she's going away on her first trip on her own, just for a couple of days up island, which is really cute. And she came to me last night. We were saying goodbye because she's going to leave while I'm out. And she said, "Are you okay if I take the foot roller with me?" I was like, "Yes, of course." She's like, "Well, I'm the one that uses it all the time anyway." I know. And I was like, "Yeah, take it. Totally fine." I've got like 20 more in the back. Yeah, right? Yeah. If there's only one thing. Yeah, I know. I know. She was like, "I need my foot roller." And I was like, "I've done it. One thing." Yeah. Foot rolling for the rest of the life. Yeah. But if you just foot rolled every day, it's amazing how that makes so much of a difference. Just keep pressing, feeling what do you need to do on the side. So I do always talk about how fascia is our richest sensory organ. So it's sensing, it's feeling, it's noticing what's happening. It's also giving you feedback. So if you listen and you quiet the chatter of the mind and you tune into your body, the fascia and your body will start to direct you to what it needs. So by exhaling, a little bit more awareness on the exhalation calms the mind, brings us into a sense of well-being and centeredness so that we're a little bit more spacious in our mind and we can sense and hear what we're being guided towards. Oh, and take another minute here because the grounding is being called in a little bit more today. We did have the full moon last week, so it's always checking in what we need. Some of you are already standing on the dowel with the dowel on the transverse arch. Some of you have the toes wrapped around the dowel. Some of us might have the heel bones, the calcaneus bones standing on the dowel, so that's an option. You're feeling Tadasana, this place of standing. Checking in, can you feel the lower ribs, if they lift up and kind of move forward, can they lower down a little bit as you lift up through the lower belly? And there's a gathering here. Sometimes I'll talk about you have little suspenders here that you can connect. And sometimes we need to open them up a little bit. Sometimes we need to tighten them. And then just feel, as you're pausing here, any other awareness that you're getting that you need to finish up the foot rolling. And then we're going to move it off to the side, whatever we're using for our foot rolling, just so we have no tripping hazards. And let's go into a forward fold just to feel the effects of the release of the back line. So as you anchor through the feet, you take a moment, a little soft bend of the knees, pressing the floor away. Inhale, lengthen up through the center line. And then the movement comes from shifting a little bit of weight onto your heels and the pelvis starting to lift up through the back and tilt forward through the front. And the spine just follows. We keep that nice alignment here of head, heart, pelvis, all in one line, a little bend of the knee. Hands can be on the thighs. You shift some weight into the toes now to feel 60% on the heels, 40 on the toes. Then you choose, do I want to release one arm? Do I need to gather the front ribs a little bit in together and up into body? Maybe a little reaching out the top of the head and back. So we're discovering and exploring, what is it that we need to feel that inner strength and integrity, but also remain fluid and a little bit of suppleness and comfort. Noticing this play of opposites. And can we find this place in between? And some of you will hover there, some of you will fold down a little bit more and go into a deeper forward fold. Feel the rhythm of your breath. Arms can dangle. You can cross, hold right hand on left elbow, left hand on right. When you cross and hold the elbows, it's an interesting awareness because you can let your elbows become heavy. And there's a release through the upper arm that pulls on not only the muscles, but the fascial. My teacher, Joy, who created this series, she'd always talk about your fascial sheet in the back body. That goes all the way up to your sacrum. And you decide how long you want to hover here for, when you choose to want to come up. Maybe the arms reach up, maybe not. You do go up into reaching the arms. Just take a moment to pause there. Exhale, lower the rib cage down, gather it together, and then decide, do I want to go into a side stretch of releasing one arm? I've also brought in where you can hold one wrist. Palm can be down, it can also be up. I like down a little bit better. And you can tug. So my right arm is up in the air, my left hand is tugging on the wrist. And as you tug, you're tugging myofascially down the body and you're rooting strongly on that side. And then here in a little bit of tugging, we've been exploring just doing a little bit more shearing and three-dimensional movement with mindfulness. Okay, so it creates some opening here in the body, some new research from Dr. Robert Schleipp that I just watched in the last couple of weeks. You switch sides, just feeling this shearing. So the fascia and the muscles, they're sliding and shearing, which helps to hydrate and break up any old holding patterns or recent ones, allowing for a little bit more play. But we always want to do that play mindfully, so we're keeping a level of intention of keeping the body safe. So we're all going to look a little bit different. Feel shoulder rolls are coming in next. So let's plant the feet when you're ready. Inhale, let the feet plant down, the shoulders come up, roll back. Exhale, drop down. Good. Squeeze it on up. Exhale, release, maybe that out the mouth. Just let go what is no longer needing to be held within the body. Go one or two more times in this direction and then switch, go the other way. Ah. Yeah. And then when you feel ready to go into just drawing the shoulders up and squeezing them, holding that for as long as you want. You can breathe, you can pause in the breath, and then just dropping it. Exhale. Press down through the feet so there's the rooting down to support the shoulders. And you let it go when you're ready. You can also do a pursed lip breath with a slow descent of the shoulders, almost like you're blowing and releasing out the tension. Sometimes we carry so much weight on the shoulders, our own, others, family, friends, sometimes the world. Beautiful. Take a moment here to hover, feel your feet. It might be in that stability, or you might have a little bit of fluidity and stability. And when it feels right for you, you're going to go into some swinging twists to end our standing flow. Feet can stay planted or one foot lifts. Good. Maybe some tapping comes in. It's optional, your choice. Height of the arms can vary. Offering a little bit of shake and shimmy today. Always really good for the fascia. It's always very good for the nervous system as well. It allows and signals the body somatically to release. So we come back into the body. So whenever we do somatic work, it means body-based, right? So we come into the body and the body says, yeah, kind of move like that. Flick it away. I'm just doing a little bit of sweeping through the body. Remember, when you sweep, the body sometimes goes, hey, let that go. I sometimes bring it into tapping, and you always want to go from the center outward. And so that's that, okay, I no longer need that. And you're just sweeping away. You're always doing that mindfully with intention, right? Intention is what brings the power of it in. Excellent. Uh-huh. All right, we're going to transition to the floor. We're going to do our hip stuff on the floor today. So we're going to feel the feet, bring the hands up, palms of the hands equally touching, heavy elbows, lengthen through the upper arm, down through the elbow. Feel the shoulder blades widen. To press through the feet, you lift up through the lower belly, gather the sides of the body inward. Feel that release all the way up through the top of the head as you exhale, arms by your side. As you feel the weight press down through the feet, the arms float up. As you exhale, the weight shifts back on the heels, the pelvis sinks back and then lifts up. You find the forward fold that speaks to you today, but once you come into it, even the weight back on the feet. It's not 100% 50-50. I want you to notice are some of the toes not wanting to engage. Tune into them, feel them. What happens when you encourage them to meet the ground, find some rooting. We're going to bend the knees. The hands will come down to the floor, nice and wide in front of the feet. And you're going to step back one big step with one foot and the other foot. Okay, so you allow the knees to bend generously, press through the arms and the torso, lengthen. You can walk it out here. Remember, if you don't want to stay here, you can shift the legs as you bend them to the left or the right to come down onto the side body if the knees are feeling delicate today. I also want to bring in, and this is optional if some of you want to explore it, just widen the front of the collarbones to widen the tops of the shoulders. And then as you're pressing one foot into the floor, you can lift up one foot. You can place it. So another way of doing top of the foot is you can place top of the foot on the mat while in downward dog. You have to stay strong through upper body. And then you can switch. You can try the other foot. You want to bring it a little bit forward. If that doesn't feel good, don't do it. Some of us have arthritis in the toes that it doesn't feel good. Yeah. You come down, you pause either in seated or child's pose. Good. Decide if some of you want to widen the knees a little bit. Bring the arms down. Maybe you go into a little side stretch here. If you're seated, you can also go into a side stretch. You can pause. Feel some of us are moving into a little axle rotation. Yeah, there you go. Looks really good, Shona. Last week we explored, which I'll bring in a little bit if you do want to sit for a moment. We explored playing with wide angle or half wide angle. And to release side body in the QL, that quadratus laborum muscle, you can have one leg in and one leg extended. And then you just slide the hand down. And it's a side release. And then you really start to feel this side of the body. And so this hand can stay here. So I've got my left leg extend, my right leg in. Some of you, if you want to go a little bit deeper, can go up, hold the head. Yeah, good, nice. Yeah, and you can lean the hand and the head into each other. There you go. That looks really nice. See how that lifted your torso? It changed you, Linda, right? Yeah. Just adding a little bit of play here. You're doing the side release, switch legs. If you want to do a little spinal wave on hands and knees or seated, you can also do that. I'll show that in a moment. I'm just going to even out to two sides. Yeah, and this one might feel it. And remember, we had that support if you needed it of the slow-mo ball underneath the thigh. It might be your right one. It might be under your left one. Yeah, under the knee. Yeah, right. And then that just allows you to nourish the back of that knee, which doesn't get enough. I feel nourishment, right? Yeah. See how it opens it up? I can feel some energy now moving through it a little bit more. Okay, spinal waves. You can do them seated, rolling back, starting from the pelvis, and the pelvis tilts forward, opening the body. Okay, you can do it on hands and knees, starting with the pelvis pushing the floor away, going back. Circling is being called in today, so you might even explore, as we've been exploring, a little bit more play of circling through the body. That's when the elbows bend a little bit more and you roll around in both directions. Like a barrel rolling, you can also do it seated. So you can move from the pelvis, keep the torso station, or you can think of mobilizing the spine. It's a different play here. Both have their place. Link your breath. Feel the relationship to the whole body. Excellent. Just wanting to kind of stay with that little play that we brought in last week. Just wanting to open the hips because we are going to do some of our strengthening today in the hips. So just wanting to take a little bit of time to release the legs and the pelvis. Oh, good. Okay, when you're ready, and that might be in the next couple of breaths, you can extend the legs, shake them out, roll around, come down to the floor. Take some time to meet yourself on the ground. Does your body want a little bit of movement, a stretch, a lengthen, some support? We're going to flow right into the tapping in a moment. So I want you to locate what you're using for your tapping and then check in. Do I need any sort of support? Sometimes I like to have a little lift under the pelvis. So that's what I'm putting underneath mine is the chip bone block. Some of you might want something under your head. You can also challenge yourself with the inflated slow-mo ball option. You just take a moment to exhale and ground and arrive here. Beautiful. Start to feel as we start at our roots at the feet on the floor, the pelvis maybe on some support. Each time you exhale, you reaffirm the parts of the body that are touching the floor. You offer that invitation to release into the floor, the earth, the support. And let that flow up through your shoulder blades. Notice your rib cage, the ribs below, in between the shoulder blades above. And also the skull. So you have the left and right side of the skull, the base, the occipital ridge. We just want to make sure that our throat and our neck feel equally spacious. Sometimes if we're lifting the chin forward or up, we're compressing the back of the neck. And so some of those muscles at the very top of the neck, the capitis muscles, they are in charge of our proprioception. They also are in charge of our balance. So sometimes when we feel lightheaded or dizzy, it could be that you've been overstraining these upper neck muscles. You might just check in with a little yes motion, a little no. As you meet yourself on the floor, keeping that awareness of stability and also space. As you root down, press the back of the hips into the floor as the legs come up, either one at a time or both. You have one foot on the floor, extend one leg out. You start your tapping. Okay, lower body. Outer leg, back of the calf, inner. Moving into the combing, putting pressure in the lower flesh and fascia, and then slowly dragging up through the body. Notice how the breath can pair with this and really enhance what is happening. So take a moment to tune in. So we always work proprioceptively, but then I also offer you that invitation to go inner, inside the body, listening. And this is interoception. So when you're sensing, you're feeling, you're noticing what the body is sharing with you. As you open your awareness, we're just bringing a little bit more mindfulness into class today. Not only the intention, but this awareness of listening. Okay, so you go through the lower leg, you start to work up through the upper leg. Um, Teresa, I was just playing with something that I got guided to show. So the energy, right, in the upper leg coming up, and you were kind of doing this earlier, right? And so I'm wondering very gently on the side, see how I'm going up the sides of the leg? It's really on, there it is. Yeah. How does it feel on the outside of the leg there? Is that okay? Right? The pupillus muscle, yeah, in the back. Yeah, that goes across the back of the knee, right? Yeah, that's the one. Yeah, so you could play in there too. Yeah, good. You moving into your quads. And that's why it was interesting how when you say that, because it was the slow-mo ball kept coming in, right? To put it behind the back of the knee. I would probably do that every day if you don't, you know. Yeah, yeah, very gently, right? And because it goes across, right, to one side of the knee, right? It goes, it's a band across it, right? Yeah, and it kind of wraps around, right? Yeah, you can feel it exactly, right? Yeah, yeah. And so you can kind of listen to it and just ask it, like, what does it want, right? So take your time as you explore the upper leg. Yeah, take some time to exhale out the mouth, just letting go what we're bubbling up to the surface, what we're ready to let go of from the body. And then as we let go of things that are no longer needed, we create space. Right? We create space not only in the body, but in the mind. And you take your time to finish off with the legs. Some of you are still working, some of you are done. I am going to continue us on, but you can stay in the legs if you haven't completed yet. And notice when you feel ready, if you want to put the dowel off to the side to move into the abdomen to nourish the visceral connection of the digestive system. Move up into using right hand to tap left side of rib cage and then left hand to right. And you'll journey up through the sternum. Bring in Brahmari breath, that B breath, when and if it arises for you. Sometimes the tapping continues while you offer the Brahmari breath. Remember, in the fascial research, that the B breath helps to release fascial stiffness, which is very exciting, as well as increasing oxygen. It produces the gas, nitric oxide, right, which is a vasodilator. It also helps your nervous system in the synapses and the communication of your nervous system. So that gas that is produced 15 times more when we do the B breath is very exciting. You might go down the arms, maybe one hand is up in the air, one arm, fingers pointing to the ceiling. I've been exploring a little bit with combing down the arms as well. So I'm just doing the forearms just to give you a little kind of feedback, and then going up over into the brachioradialis and into the bicep and the upper arm. And then when you're ready, you'll know, some of you are already seated, you'll either stay lying down to do the back body or you'll roll over and sit up. Just allowing a little bit more space for you. A lot of you know what you're doing. Just creating that space so you can listen. Yeah, good. Oh, my body's pulling me back down, but you stay up as long as you need to. Check in if you want to massage through the face, the scalp. Use your fingers just to massage the scalp fascia. For me, massaging my scalp fascia every day or every second day is really important for my well-being. Some of you also might feel that. Being someone who's had a couple of head injuries, my scalp fascia tends to want to pull and tighten. Some of us, we don't, might not realize how tight the scalp gets. Go into palming if you wish. And you're just going to pause, breath, receive. Hands can cup the eyes. You can choose, do I want a tiny bit of pressure just to affect the vagus nerve? So there's a ganglion connection from the eyes to the vagus nerve. Allowing yourself to be open and receptive in this moment as I just create a pause for another minute. Notice where the parts of your body are settling. Notice where you feel a vibrance, maybe an aliveness. And slowly transition. Allowing the hands to release when you're ready. And see if the body needs a little bit of movement. We're going to go into canoe pose. And so we're going to take the chip foam block. Some of you might have a blanket. Some of you might have something else you want to put underneath. I also want to bring in, which is coming in, the inflated slow-mo ball into the pelvis, which does create more work for you because you're on you're on a surface that is moving, so it makes you find your core a little bit more. So some of you might find that you want to feel that that play here, and it's going to make you work a little bit more in the body. Some of you might take your 4-inch block or your slow-mo ball and pop it in between the thighs. So we explored also, is it the middle thigh? Is it closer to your knees? Is it dropping it closer to your pelvic floor? And as you squeeze, in, and you lift up through the lower pelvis. Allow the sides of the transverse to come into that center line. Let the legs come up, let the arms come up. And I'm just going to grab the long dowel because I know some of you like it. So that's the 2-foot dowel. So you have shorter ones in the studio and longer ones. And some of you might put the ends of the dowel in the very center palm of the hand. And then remember, the elbows and the knees need to soften, and that's going to just soften the outer flesh of the body. So to hydrate the superficial fascia, which is right underneath the skin, subcutaneous below the surface of the skin, that's what creates the slide and glide and the hydration. So you want to have the elbows and knees bent as you need to, as you squeeze and find your core and that inner lift as the arms move towards one another and away. So check in that little reaching through the toes that we've been bringing in, reaching up through the whole circle of the heels. So for some of you, it might be inner heel that you need to focus on a little bit more, outer heel, back of the heel. Pressing the back body a little bit more into the floor. So you might find a little leaning back through the shoulder blades and the ribs. And just feel this settling, but also integrity of wrapping the sides of the body to center line. Good, you got it. And just watching you. Yeah. And there's a reaching out of the toes and the heels, but there's also a settling of the ball of the two ball and joint sockets. So that's shoulders and hips into their sockets. So you want to balance the reaching out, but the settling in. And we're just going to do this one today. We're going to release. We're not going into scissors today. So we're going to release the ball, the block, take that out, the dowel, take a moment just to be on the floor, a little bit of wipering. We always go into smiley face, which is our core twist. So we're going to do that one. And you're going to check in. Do I need any support under the head for this one? Do I want to have a slow-mo ball in between the thighs? Do I want to have a block in between the feet? The dowel is coming in, so some of you might hold the dowel in the hand. Some of you might just envision a big ball. So as you squeeze, the legs slowly float up. They're bent to a place that feels okay in the knees. So if you need to create more space, open them up. One other thing that we have done is put the dowel behind the back of the knees. And sometimes for some of you that have knee issues, it helps to just create a little bit of space, and then you wrap your legs over the dowel. So that's another option that is coming in. So I just want to play because we've got a few knee awareness is coming in. So just want to offer that. So you're going to move the legs to one side, the arms gently to the other, reaching through the toes and the heel. So just go into smiley face one first. And the head can flow with the legs. Sometimes it flows with the arms. Yeah, that SH breath is coming in, beautiful. And then if and when you want to allow the legs to extend, notice that you're reaching up through the feet, inner heel, outer heel, toes, but you're also settling the ball of the hip into the socket. So you might even just pause there in midair. See, can you be connected as the knees bend, and then you extend and then you pause. Connect for a moment. So you'll know if you're connected through your whole body. And you're looking at that biotensegrity of feeling the body as a whole. If you can pause and hold yourself in space and notice what needs to connect. Do I need to gather one side of my rib cage in? Do I need to lift up? Yeah, some of you are pausing, wiggle the fingers from time to time. Yeah, good. Aha. Yeah, Shona, how does that feel behind the knees? Do you like it? Yeah, it's a different one. It kind of was coming in and I was like, yeah, let's try that, right? So you play for as long as you want. When you're ready, you let go. You're just watching what's happening. Good. Remember, there's a ball in your hands, so when your arms move from side to side, you're never losing the ball. You release when you're ready. Pause, do any movement. You can shake it out. Hey, we are going to go into the side lying that we have been working on. So let's start on rolling. Ooh, got everyone in different directions, but let's start. If you guys roll towards me, you're on your left, right? Is that right? If you roll towards me, you're on your left side. Okay, so let's start on left side. And you're going to take the bolster, couple options here. Remember, you can pull the bolster so it's quite close to your pelvis, about a half a foot away. And then you can lie up and over. So when I have the bottom of the bolster, it's around my waist. And then you can press the elbow down into the floor. Or you can come down and have the hand and the head leaning into each other. Your right foot is behind your left leg. Yes, you got it. And now your right leg, it wants to externally rotate out, but I want you to take the right leg, internally rotate it. And that right foot is like a standing foot. So you can have the heel elevated, but you want to be pressing the foot into the floor. And that's what allows you to roll back on the hip a little bit, soften the hip crease. The left leg will come up. There it is. Now, this left leg is going to lift up and down. And now the pelvis is not rocking and rolling. So you're not rolling back and forth. Reaching through inner heel, outer heel, toes. Yeah, good. You got it. Good. Now watch. See that back leg, Susie? So I came. You're going to roll it in. So roll it towards Seamus. Yeah, there it is. A little bit more now. Keep rolling it in. Now keep it there as you lift that leg up and down. There it is. That was the adjustment. Remember, I did that a couple weeks ago, right? Yeah. See if your foot and leg cannot touch the floor as you go up and down. Yes, there it is. Yeah, Mom, you're doing upper leg and we're all doing lower leg. You are. Yeah. That's okay. Okay, now pause. Okay, lean on your left side. If you want, you slide that bolster out. Head is on the bolster. Maybe, Michelle, if you want to lie in front of Mom and be a visual if you face like the other way for her. Externally rotate back a little bit so the right leg is up towards the ceiling. Your leg's on a little 45, toes pointing up. Okay, we're going to shake it. We're going to tap that leg. So I'm using both hands. Okay, and you're going to pause. You're going to rest. Now, your bottom leg, which is your left, you can press the pinky, the third, fourth pinky toe into the floor a little bit to create some stability on the left side of your body. Remember, the right knee is a little bit bent, and you're going to now bring it up and down. It's like you're drawing a nice rainbow. Pelvis is still heavy, even though the right hip is not touching the floor. You're going to feel the right side of the ribs become heavy a little bit. Nice and smooth. See how smooth you can move that leg up and down. Working outer hip. The first one was inner hip. So this is 3 heel. The first one's called seesaw. Keep lifting up through the lower belly, gathering both sides of the rib cage together in your center line. There it is. Use your sounds if you need to. Reach up through the top of the head ever so gently to open the back of the neck. Here, we're just doing these for a little bit longer. Nice. Yeah, there it is. Love that connection, Shona, that you're doing with your hands to bring awareness there. It's really helping you. Yeah. Take some time, roll on your back. Check in. Do you need to wiggle around through the pelvis? Seamus always reminds me of this one because he's always tapping his pelvis all the time, the lifting and tapping your pelvis on the floor. Yeah. So you can wiggle, you can tap, check in. What do you need? Do you need anything? Do you just need to pause? Oh. Take a few breaths. Okay, feel the work that you did. So you did a strengthening on your left inner thigh and the right outer leg. Now we're going to balance. Okay, so we're kind of half worked on one side. So that means we're going to turn on right side. So remember, if you can't see me, you're using someone else as a visual and just listening to cues. So you're checking in. Do I want to go up and over the bolster? Do I want to be up on the forearm? Elbow pressing down? Do I want to come down onto the hand and head leaning? Left foot is behind right thigh here. Good. Left leg is rolling in. Pelvis is sinking back. That left foot is pressing into the floor. Okay, that helps your right leg come up. Okay, when you're ready, you're going to lift the right leg up and down. Good. The left leg, keep rolling it in. Dropping the pelvis back, rolling it in. And there it is. Yes. It's smooth. So some of you, you'll notice you're trying to lift it and it's feeling a little bit jerky. How can you create some fluidity? Some of you just need to think of smoothing that movement out a little bit more. There it is. Not even talking about the arms we did a couple weeks ago, but there's enough going on here just to feel that internal center line. Good. Pause when you're done. So some of you should feel your inner thigh, right? You feel inner thigh? Okay. You're also feeling core, which is connecting the whole body. So then you're leaning back, checking in, taking that weight off the shoulder, pushing your bolster back, head is touching it. Left leg is coming up in the air. You're shaking and shaking and shaking and tapping and tapping and tapping. Mm-hmm. Take some time to be here. When you're ready, remember there's a little bit of energy pressing that right foot into the floor. Find the lifting up through the lower belly. Gather the rib cage in. When you find integrity through the body, the leg has the freedom to be a little bit smoother in the movement. Working outer hip, abductor. Nice. There's a nice rhythm happening right now. A lot of you are starting to feel that integrity of working your whole body. It's called biotensegrity. Good. You go as many times as you want. When you feel complete, roll over. Just let your head rest. Notice if you need some movement through the legs. Do you want to tap? Do you want to rock and roll? What do you need? Maybe it's a few breaths. Good. I wanted to bring in the invitation today of doing the whole arm series because it's been a bit since we've done it. And so some of you might want to do it just lying flat on the floor in constructive rest with the knees bent. Some of you might put the bolster underneath you. I also want to bring in heart bed, which has been calling and calling to want to come in. Okay, if you go into heart bed, you have your 4-inch block on the mat. You have your bolster. They supported the upper part on that 4-inch block. So you've got a nice angle now to the floor. So you're angling your body and then you're choosing, some of you I know, to support, to have a little bit less of an extension in the lower back. You put that chip foam block right in front of the bolster and you're going to sit on that. Okay, for me, that doesn't feel so good. So if you're not using the chip foam block, you're going to sit with your pelvis quite close to the bolster. Chin releases down to the throat, hands down beside you. You roll down with intention. So you can always check in if that chip foam block feels good, if you want to pop it in. Some of you will take your inflated slow-mo ball, put that in between the thighs. It's really helpful to keep connected to the lower body. Feet are parallel, arms are out to the side, palms are up. So make space for yourself. So if you have props, move them out of the way so that we can just find open heart, spacious breath, grounded through body, heavy lower arm, elbows, open palm of the hand. Beautiful. Just going to settle here for a moment. Notice not only your heels rooting into the floor, but your toes. So I want you to be aware of what your lower body is doing. Remember, the upper body is supported on the integrity of what is happening through the feet, the legs, and the pelvis. Each time you exhale, you're allowing each side of the body to come and fold into that center line. The feet gently root into the floor. The thighs squeeze that ball or the block. When you're ready, you're going to inhale, sweep the arms up, palms of the hands touch as the fingers point to the ceiling. Bend the elbows, forearms, come parallel to the body. Open the palm of your hand, so just the pad of your thumb, index, middle ring, and pinky are leaning into each other. Hakini Mudra. This balances your whole energetic system. Okay, check in with your neck and your throat. Are you spacious there? Keep your feet, inner thighs, ribs gathering as you extend the arms overhead. Fingers point to the wall behind you. You're on a little bit of an angle if you're in heart bed, so your arms are also going to be on an angle. The palms of the hands touch, the inner elbows gather. When the hands come back over heart center, the elbows widen, the palm of the hands open back into Hakini Mudra. So when you come overhead, some of you might exhale, gather the ribs, palms of the hands touch. As your arms extend up, your ribs gather in and pull down towards the pelvis. So it's extending side body here. Cobra head. Yeah, feel a slide and glide coming in here. Remember, we're going to create integrity, but I also want you to allow fluidity. So wherever you feel sliding in the rib cage, the shoulder blade, trying to stay connected to your feet, rooting into the earth. I'm going to keep reminding you of them. Okay, one or two more. The next time your hands come back towards heart, you're going to pause, extend the arms up. Fingers point towards the ceiling. You're once again in Hakini Mudra. So pads of the fingers and the thumbs leaning equally into each other. Little bend of the elbow. Now arms are chopping down towards legs, up towards the ceiling, and a little overhead. Keep the back body connected to the floor or the bolster if you're lying in heart bed with me. Okay, your shoulder blades, as you bring your arms up and overhead, should slide up towards your ears. And your shoulder blades, when you chop down towards your legs, should slide down your back. Check in. Sometimes we have one shoulder blade that is a little bit stuck. Sometimes you notice a little wiggle or something's not sliding as efficiently on one side to the other. Take note. Check in if that side is a little wiggly or a little bit sticky. What's happening to that foot? Are you still connected? Can you back off? That leaning of the pads of the fingers and the thumb into each other creates a little loading through the muscles, which helps the fascia slide and glide, but also rearrange. Yeah. Okay, the next time your arms come down, we're just going to let them release down to the floor. Go back to the arms by your side, palms up. Heavy elbows, lower arm. Just rest there for a moment. Feel your body. Arriving home to yourself with each exhale. Not folding into center line, but also noticing that our true nature is this feeling of joy and contentment and ease. When you're ready, you're going to bring the arms back up. Your palms are facing your legs. Okay, index and thumb touching. So equal leaning. So the thumb leans up into the index and the index Finger leans down. Okay, soft wrists, so let them flow. Let your arms flow through water. So let there be some fluidity here. And then wiggle the middle of the ring and the pinky so you're not too tight there. Little bend of the elbows. Beautiful. Heavy back body, rooted feet, inner thighs gathering as you open the arms out to the side. Reach a little bit through the tips of your fingers, middle ring, pinky. You're not going to touch the floor because you're in heart bed. You come back. So you can keep your head in center, eyes opened or closed. You can, when you open the arms, turn your head to one side. When the arms come back towards one another, head flows. Okay, your rib cage and your shoulder blades should stay heavy on the bolster or the floor. So as you open your arms, you're not lifting from off the bolster or the floor. Okay, that means you're going a little bit too far. As you lean the index and the thumb into each other, you connect myofascially up through the forearm, through the elbow, through the inner bicep, and into your heart center. So we're nourishing front body here. Owl wings one. Feel your feet again. Yeah, there you go. Good. Find some fluid. Nice. Once you've done another one or two, even it out. Feel. When you're complete, release the index and the thumb. Wiggle all the fingers, turn the palms of the hands to face one another, then turn them to face over the wall behind you. Okay, elbows heavy. You can either touch thumb to the middle finger to nourish up through the middle of the arm, the top of the shoulder, the neck, into the ear and the jaw, or thumb to the ring finger to ground into body and connect into shoulder blades. You can also go thumb into ring and pinky. That means index and middle's in a V. So also help you bring in a full 3-part breath or radiant breath of Durga Pranayama. Okay, so heavy, feel your feet, gather the thighs, open the arms, pinky side of the hands come back towards one another. Head can turn as you open, come back to center as the arms do. And I want you to notice as you're going into back body now, because the fingers we're leaning into, thumb into certain fingers, they're connecting myofascially either into the top of the shoulder or the shoulder blade. So I want you to feel, are you equally leaning and touching the right and left shoulder blade into your bolster or the floor? Is one side heavier, one side lighter? You feel the whole shoulder blade? Working a little bit more interoceptive and proprioceptive. If you want to feel proprioception, you just notice, how do my arms feel moving in space? We have one last one that we're going to do. Okay, so as the arms come together, wiggle the fingers, let the hand mudras go. Good, you're gonna bring your arms up. So when you're looking up, you can see the back of your hand. So palm of the hand is facing the legs. Let the elbows bend, heavy shoulders. And then you're gonna turn the palms to face one another in the air. And then start to bring the pinky side of the hands towards one another. It's the bottom outer edge of your circle. And then you open up, you draw the sides, palms face one another, then the thumbs come towards one another. So you're drawing each arm hand, drawing half of a circle, half moon. You're working internal, external rotation. So as your pinky side of your hands come towards one another, that's external rotation. You're going to feel an opening in your chest. When the thumbs come towards one another, that's internal rotation. You're going to feel an opening in back body. Play. Beautiful. Once you're complete, let the arms release. You might extend the legs. You might release the bolster. You might stay in heart bed and just bring the soles of the feet together, legs open in butterfly if you choose. Some of you might roll off and go into something else. Okay, so I always give that space. What do you need? You have about 4 to 6 minutes left here, so just check in. Do you want to stay in heart bed? And this is you. Some of you will come out, roll off to the side, move your equipment, do some movements, go up into legs up the wall or legs on a chair. At home, if you have a couch, you might go legs on a couch. You might feel that some movement is coming back in. So maybe some of the postures that we did in the flow at the start of the class when we came to the floor come back in. Maybe some spinal wear. Whatever position is speaking to you. There we go. The cat's coming Fiona to nourish you. Take some time to arrive here. Notice yourself in body, in breath, in mind and heart. This is that awareness of proprioception, interoception, and our sense of this connection to the outer world of our senses, exteroception. And we come into feeling the awareness of all sides of our being. Some of you know this is your kosha layers, communing. You feel this sense of embodiment. And we rest right here fully in this moment. And sometimes we feel all the pieces are sometimes running around and a little bit scattered, but at the end of a practice, we can feel this integration happening where aspects of our being are connected. This is the root of yoga, which means huge, which means union. And we're unionizing back into ourselves. And the piece that came today is by John O'Donohue. And it's about when we reconnect back into our rhythm, we notice this sense of belonging. Our bodies know they belong. It is our minds that make our life so homeless, guided by longing. Belonging is the wisdom of rhythm. Belonging is the wisdom of rhythm. When we are in rhythm with our own nature, things flow and balance naturally. Every fragment does not have to be relocated or reordered. Things cohere and fit accordingly to their deeper impulse and instinct. Our modern hunger to belong is particularly intense. An increasing majority of people feel no belonging. We have fallen out of rhythm with life. The art of belonging is the recovery of the wisdom of rhythm. The art of belonging is the recovery of the wisdom of rhythm. You feel this integration for yourself on whatever level is apparent for you right now. And know this is exactly where you need to be. This connection into your rhythm. As we come together and practice, we help each other find a rhythm as we co-regulate together. And this remembering arise. Thank yourself for showing up for your practice today. Feel your breath. Feel any movement that wants to come in. It might be a stretch. It might be just a shifting of the legs for a moment. It might be moving into another transitional place and just pausing there. And you're feeling and taking that time to come up to a seated place that resonates for you. So some of us are moving through some knee injuries today, so we might not be crossing the legs. We might even feel that one leg extension or even bringing a slow-mo ball underneath the back of the knee. Allow the arms to come out to the side, palms face forward, allowing that open heart, soft external rotation of the shoulders as we exhale the weight down through the body, out the mouth. And as we press the pelvis into the floor, the arms gently start to rise up. As the palms touch, you receive. Open yourself up to receive. And you flow this many times. You might go 3 of the normal ones. Some of you might go a little bit quicker, and some of you might be a little bit slower. And around the next one, wherever you are, and the palms touch, find your heart center. The thumbs meeting the sternum, heart area, leaning gently up into the thumbs lean down, shoulders soft. Equal awareness of hands touching. We pause here together. Feel our hearts be the last thing that anchor us as we open the eyes when we're ready. Just knowing that the heart can be our guide. We can link back to this by just noticing our breath and our body. The eyes open. Savoring the sweetness of this moment here. Sometimes there's just, and I always love to acknowledge it, an energetic rhythm that has moved to another realm of awareness. Letting yourself be wrapped in this energy for as long as it wants to be sustained. Thank you for being here. Take your time and rest. Thank you for being online.